Yo, buddy, what's going on, my fellow tamers? Veteran X here, and today let's talk about Animo, baby. I am so freaking excited for this game. Like, you guys just don't understand. Monster Tamers are my favorite genre, and the fact that we finally get to play the beta for Animo on July 4th is just like, mwah, it's très magnifique. I really feel like games like Pal World really kick down the door so that more monster tamers can thrive out here. I'm just happy to be in this new golden age, this renaissance, if you will, of monster tamers. And I'm very excited for Animo and to test out some of the multiplayer features that are within this game. So there are some multiplayer features that we know are already confirmed, and there's some that we can possibly speculate about, and also throw out some ideas which would be very, very good to see within a monster tamer. So the first one that we know we're going to be able to test out is co-op. So within this scene right here, you can clearly see that there are 2 out of 4 players here, so you can play up to 4 players. And I think that's going to be freaking huge, especially for a monster taming video game. Now with that, I'm curious, so how will like loot and treasures be divvied up? So in some games, there's only one instance of like the loot, and like it's first come first serve, and if you don't get any of that stuff, then that's too bad for you. So I'm hoping that there's a way that everyone can get the same loot, right? Or there's some kind of shared system. I'm just throwing out ideas out here. I just don't want it to be a time in which players don't get anything at all. I don't think that's going to be fun. It's going to lead to some fights within some friend groups, and I don't think no one wants to see anything like that. And on that note, does that mean that there's only one instance of an Animo that shows up? Because imagine if you see a glistened version of one, and glistened versions are shiny Animos, just for those who aren't aware. Imagine if you see a glistened Animo spawn. Who gets first dibs on it? Is it just like, you know, rock, paper, scissors, team deathmatch type deal? Do you flip a coin? Or is it first come, first serve? Like, that's going to be very, very entertaining to see, just to say the least. Hopefully no one out there betrays their friends, and you guys have like established agreements before you log into those co-op sessions, because trying to make those rules on the fly could be disastrous. And speaking of being able to play with multiple players, if you go to the Xbox product page for Animo, it says that this game will have up to 100 players. So when I see a tag like that, that reminds me of like MMO games, and you will be able to see other players within the world. And if that's the case, I think that will be an amazing addition to have. Being able to interact and see other players within the same world that you're in, it just makes it feel more alive and lived in, and it really adds to that experience, especially for a monster tamer. Like, that is freaking huge. But speaking of which, maybe you could come across a new player who's fighting like a tougher Animo that needs some help. And you know what, you can just jump in and be like, you know, hey man, I got you. I'm gonna help you out here. And that's something I like doing a lot in MMOs. I'll just see someone that's fighting like a tough monster, and I go out and help them. I've done that recently within the Chrono Odyssey beta test, which is another good MMO. And I think something like that will be pretty fun within Animo as well. And since there are a lot of players and this huge multiplayer aspect being held here, would there be a guild system or a society that you can create and join? I think that'll also add immense levels of polish towards the social aspect for this game, and players can have another avenue in which they can have fun. I think something like that would be really good. You can create your own banners for your guild or whatnot, and then you go out and you can do questing together. You can party up for PvP, or you can go out and do some solo missions, or hey guys, who wants to do this dungeon raid with me? Again, monster tamers, we're on the rise here. Like, this is insane, and this is why having competition being available is such a wonderful thing for video games, because there are certain companies out there, I'm not going to say any names, I'll let your imagination do the talking, but there are certain companies out there that would never even come close to some of these features, but other gamers and developers, they definitely will. They'll take the opportunity, like, yeah, that's something I like seeing, and I want to implement it within my game. So I'm here for it. I'm really ready to test out all of these things. And since there's like a large multiplayer aspect here, please include prox chat. Proximity chat is one of the coolest features within video games when it's done correctly. And also, if a prox chat will be here, make sure to add a mute button to turn it off as well, because imagine if you're coming across a toxic player or you just don't want to interact with prox chat at all. Having that option to turn it off is always a good thing. So that way the people who don't want it, they can turn it off and they can keep enjoying the game. And the people who do want it, they can use it and keep enjoying the game. Everybody wins here. And I've seen some of the gaming scenarios that happens exclusively because prox chat was a thing and they just can't be replicated in any other way. A feature within this game, within, again, a monster tamer, of course, would be insane. And since that you can go out and have parties of up to 4 people, how will boss fights be scaled? Will they still be scaled accordingly if it was just one person? Or will it, the health pool, the damage they deal out, will all these things be adjusted depending on how many players you have? I mean, I would assume that maybe there'll be some kind of scaling if there's more players involved, because otherwise you can just grab a group of 4 people and you can bum rush a random alpha Animo and just take them out easily like it's nothing. And I guess that's fun for some people, but that might ruin the challenge for others. So I'll be very curious to see how that's handled within this beta. And of course, you cannot forget about competitive PvP. How will this bad boy work within Animo? Because you know, in Monster Tamers, you gotta fight other people. You gotta do it. It's only right. Will there be various modes such as 1v1, 2v2, maybe guild versus guild? Will there be a team deathmatch? Who knows? But having PvP and making sure that it's polished and it works well, that will add another layer of enjoyment for players who want to dive into this game. And I can imagine that it's gonna be pretty skill based, because if you don't play ARPGs and you're not familiar with managing your cooldowns, knowing when to dodge, knowing when to swap, how to parry, block, all of these things, ooh, it might be a little tough. So there might be some skill that needs to be involved with PvP, and that's going to be a lot of fun to play around with. I cannot wait to dive into that and see how in the heck Animo will fuse these elements together and make them work. And player housing. Now, this has to be in the game, right? We already know there's going to be customization, things of that nature, but player housing adds another level of enjoyment to gamers, and being able to express yourself and how you want to create your housing and the furniture you put in there and the decorations and all these things you want to add in there, that will be a very nice aspect. And then you can go visit other players' houses and whatnot, and then you could have a showcase, show them off like, hey, this is my bachelor pad, baby. I got a mansion over here. Come on and check it out. I think that'd be really freaking cool to have. And I want to give a huge shout out to my first channel member, Bright Soldier. Thank you for supporting the work, King. And if you want cool ass shout outs just like this one, then just join up. The link is in the description and the pinned comment, baby. Monster Tamers are absolutely my favorite genre of video games. And if you want to hear more about Animo, then check out these videos I have here. One of them is a 20-minute deep dive into the gameplay and combat within Animo. And then in this other video, I discuss some other features and monetization strategies and things of that nature that Animo can do to be positive and have a good future. And now, with all of that out of the way, get out there and let's go play some freaking video games.